Nightmare Gerald, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? Now, since this fight has got made, man, for me, I'm excited about this fight. I've been talking. I know I say this in every video, but I'm going to keep saying it in every video until the day of the fight. But I've been talking about this style matchup last June when I was coming out with videos about Wilder versus Washington. Does Washington have the style to beat Wilder? All right, so I'm excited about this matchup. All right, This fight has consumed my mind since it's been signed because it's happening in a few weeks now, 3 weeks now. So I'm happy for this fight, man. So I'm going to be dropping a lot of these little videos. All right, but to the fight itself, though. I seen people leaving you guys leave some good ass comments, man. When you guys really want to talk boxing in the comment section, y'all leave some damn good comments, man. Damn good comments. But people were asking about, does Washington have dog in him? Does he have dog in him? He got the size. He got his grown man strength. He has good legs. He has a decent jab, some good movement. He's a big man. Undefeated, hungry, natural athlete, played college football at USC. Was in the Navy. I think he was like an airplane mechanic or something in the Navy. But people want to know, does he got that dog in him? You know, that dog, like, if it gets rough in there, will he try to run away? If he gets into a scrap and it turns into a shootout, is he going to, run away from that? Will he fold? Will he wilt under pressure? You know what, man? From the outside looking in, all the fights that I seen where it was starting to get a little bit rough for him, or like the Mansour fight, even the Skip Scott fight to some degree, although it didn't last that long, but just the little dust up they had while the fight was going on. Damn, who was the other fight too, man, where he was getting a little bit tired in that fight, but he was still fighting back? Was it Aguilera? It was one of them cats, man. I forget the fight. But I think if the going gets rough, I think Gerald's going to rise to the occasion and fight back. Now, he may get knocked out in the process, especially when you got two big men in there just swinging leather all over the place. There's a possibility. And I think Gerald has a puncher's chance, not from the stance of he's this huge knockout artist, but to me, today's heavyweights are changing as far as they're getting a lot bigger. Doesn't mean they're better than the guys from the past, but they're getting a lot bigger and a lot more, not just being big, but being also athletic too. Not just being a big, tall, goofy ass boxer tripping over his feet. No, these dudes are pretty athletic for their size and height, man. It may look a little awkward because they're 6'7", 6'8", 6'6". So it's not going to look as smooth as smaller as, the smaller heavyweights of the past. But for their size and height, man, these dudes are pretty fucking athletic. I'm a big dude myself, 6'5", 240. So if I stood up and started shadow boxing and trying to move and feint and stutter step and all that, it may look a little awkward to some of you smaller guys. So for these big guys, they can pretty much do it, and Gerald can do it. Can he do it at a high level? I guess we'll see. You know what I mean? But no, I don't think Gerald's gonna fold, man. When you play, football, I mean, even the football players that have tried and possibly got knocked out, like a Seth Mitchell or something like that, or the football guys, there's been a lot of them over the years. But didn't mean that they wasn't tough guys. They probably didn't have the best chins in the world. I was seeing guys still trying to get up and stand up after being knocked down and knocked out. I mean, so I think the toughness is there. It's just how will he react? Will he be able to fight in a way if it gets rough and, Wilder tries to come out and throw punches and, put some pressure on him, how will he be able to get out of the way of what Wilder's throwing to answer back? Having dog just isn't just when the time get rough, you answer to adversity, but it's also how you're fighting in the heat of the moment. You know what I mean? Can he keep his form and technique together? Juan Marquez, I know he's a smaller fighter, but it is not just Juan Marquez, a lot of fighters, but he really sticks out to me in his past little era of fighters, of a person. They can be in a fucking shootout, slugfest, blood everywhere. I mean, busted nose, lips cut open. I mean, all types of shit. And he will still keep his form and technique. Like those fights with Pacquiao, I'm like, man, how is he keeping his form and technique? You know what I mean? So solid, so grounded. You know what I mean? In a shootout like that. Some guys are good at that. Floyd Mayweather's another one that can get a lot of pressure and still keep his form and technique together when he's fighting, So I'm not saying Gerald's to that level, but if he can keep some type of form, technique, and keep keep those straight punches together while he's getting out of the way of shots, it's gonna be an interesting fight, man. And I think he has a good chance. I'm seeing people say Wilder's gonna ice him in 2 rounds and all that. I really don't see that, man. You guys always say this, the Wilder's gonna ice somebody in 2 rounds and shit, and it don't happen. Spilka, people were telling me that, Duopa, Molina, and he was having difficulties in some of those fights. Spilka was showing that Wilder could be outboxed. You know what I mean? He was winning some rounds on boxing, on sticking and moving. Wilder has a way longer reach, and Spilka has some good timing in that fight. He was able to get the timing down. He was making Wilder think. Wilder had to solve that puzzle. You know what I mean? Duopa, busted his eyes, had Wilder's eyes a little bit swollen. You know what I mean? He was having some success, landing some leather on him. Molina, we all know about that left hook that Molina landed that rattled him. Molina hit him with some good shots, but Wilder was able to overcome all that shit. You know what I mean? That's the thing about Wilder. He's able to overcome that, man. That dude's a tough dude. Wilder's very tough, man, very tough. And I know if it turned into a dog fight, he's definitely going to stand up and rise to the occasion. But if it does turn into a dog fight, that could favor Washington in some ways, because if there's one thing that I think that Wilder, now this is me being the Monday, what the fuck do they call it, the Monday quarterback, or the armchair quarterback, whatever. But this is me being a fan. If there's one thing that Wilder can work on, it's when he's throwing combinations, or when he gets a guy hurt, or he's trying to go on the attack. Sometimes his fundamentals and everything goes out the window. He's just like windmilling punches. And it's because, to me, he smells blood. He's like a overly aggressive shark or some shit, man. Like, he smells the blood. He wants to finish you and kill you, but it's not precise. It's not precision when he does it. You know what I mean? It's just flailing his arms around. It's like Wilder almost comes off like he's biting his bottom lip trying to knock you out. Like, motherfucker, like, you know what I mean? Like he's just swinging for the fences when he needs to just settle down and put the punches together. You know what I mean? You can still throw a lot of punches, but keep that technique, because you might run in there with somebody, you might get them hurt or something, man. You start flooding your arms and they see that perfect opportunity, or just opportunities, because Wilder will give you opportunities to hit him. It's not like he's unhittable. You know what I mean? They might catch him down the middle, or catch him with something straight. You know what I mean? So, intriguing fight, man. Then I'm also looking at this fight where, I'm curious to see his right hand, man. I really want to see what Wilder's right hand look like in this fight. If it's the same right hand that I've been seeing, like I've said, I've noticed from Gerald, he does pull back sometimes. Now every time you're not going to be able to get out on angles or be able to turn and pivot all the fucking time. But there are times he does shit. There's times Wilder's backs up some straight lines. Remember, Wilder notorious for backing up with his chin up in the air. You know what I mean? I cannot wait for this fight, man. I don't know about y'all, man. I can't wait for this. Like I was telling y'all about the Spilka fight. I told y'all that's not gonna be some fucking cakewalk. Spilka's not a bum. He may not be the top of the top, but he's not no bum. Wilder's gonna have to figure him out. I'm telling you, man. He's gonna have to figure Washington out. I'm gonna stand by that. And if I'm wrong, then hey, all I gotta do is make a video and say I was wrong about the shit. You know what I mean? But if I'm putting my money on it, this is gonna be a harder fight than most people think. You know what I mean? Some people think that Washington's going to gas automatically going into the later rounds. Again, Mansour's putting pressure on him, man. Mansour has a lot of motherfuckers gassing going into later rounds. You know what I mean? A lot of people need some air when they're fucking fighting Mansour going into later rounds, man. That's the type of pressure that he brings. Wilder doesn't necessarily bring that type of pressure. I was looking at the Wilder and Kelvin Price fight. I watched that fight a few times. I know Wilder knocked him out. It wasn't for the knockout. It was just for how Wilder was reacting to Price's jab, because him and Wilder damn near mirrored each other, style and height and arm reach. It was like a carbon copy. You know what I mean? And he came out flicking his jab and turning Wilder. And in return, Wilder was putting up the high guard to deflect the jab and parry the jab with his jab. But there was nothing coming behind the jab. I'm like, okay, he's doing a good job of using the jab. The way he was positioning his body, He was kind of leaning it back, using the jab, turning. But then Wilder kind of seemed like, okay, you ain't really throwing shit behind the jab. Then Wilder just started throwing his jab, not to land, because that right hand had knocked him out. He just threw the jab out there. It didn't even hit Price. It was just to make him react to it. Boom! Hit his ass with a hard right hand. He knew nothing was coming behind that jab of Price. He knew it. Then he started to get too predictable with the turning. You want to mix it up. You don't want to keep just turning the same fucking direction the whole fight. Wilder timed that shit, man. He knew nothing was coming behind that jab. So it's going to take more than just a jab. You're going to have to use your feet. But the difference between Washington and a guy like Price is Washington has better legs. And I think he has better head movement. I thought Price was using his jab well, but he really wasn't committing to it. He was flicking it to keep Wilder kind of disrupt his timing a little bit, but he didn't commit to it. He didn't change it up. It was just one steady motion, one steady pace. It was just one pace, and Wilder timed it. I'm going to do some more videos like this, man. This was just on my mind right now, but I'm going to drop a lot of these Washington and Wilder videos up into fight night because it's this month, man. So I'm going to give this fight a lot of publicity that it deserves. I'm out.